Feeling dead on the inside for me has always stemmed from wanting life to be the image I make of it, but at the same time recognizing that it's not, which makes me upset and sad, because you want things to be perfect, especially when you're an idealist. The idealist in me envisions this perfect world where I'm a musician traveling around the world, and I have people listening to my music, and I'm a successful artist who has communicated with people. And it's always about the numbers. It's never enough, because you think that you could be better than who you are now. But I don't think this just goes for myself. I think this goes for just society. We live in a society where you envision society being better, more ideal than it is now. And certainly these conversations are meant to be had, but there isn't one finite point in the deep future that we are going to arrive at that makes us think, hey, this is fun. History is over now, and we can stop wanting things to improve. Instead, I think there's an eternal truth to the human existence. If human existence as we know it right now has been as consistent, our consciousness, the way we've been thinking, has been consistent for the past 3,000, 4,000 years, then you can take that consistency and think that history has probably revolved around said consistency, and humans have manifested their personalities and values in different ways throughout that flow. And I think when you conceptualize history and humanity, and not as something going towards an idealistic point, but rather just a flow around one point in history, it kind of takes a little bit of the edge off, because you don't think about perfection in that way where you want the world to conform to whatever's here. That's the struggle of the idealist. I struggled a lot with this when I was younger, because I would tell the people around me, I'm going to be a rock star, I'm going to travel the world and be a musician and change the course of music or something. And obviously, when you're an artist, you're going to inevitably idealize things, and that idealism can be helpful. But when it runs astray and you can't control it, it starts to hurt you in ways that you probably didn't even realize, because this world and that world, some people would say that the internal experience and the external experience, they're actually one. I used to project the internal experience and image of my ideal world onto everybody else, and I'd talk about it, profess about it, and hope, kind of what I'm doing right now, but it would piss others off, make me look like I am a lunatic, and it would, ultimately alienate people close to me, because I didn't really listen. I was obsessed with myself and the things that I wanted for my own sake, and that's not healthy. That idealism is, how you manage it is a different question, but I do think that there's a question of managing it and attempting to conform to reality and not getting lost in this framework where everything is going to be perfect at some point, and you need to keep working at it in the expectation that it will happen. You could maybe conceptualize it as something that is a realm, maybe it exists in a realm and you know when you're heading towards it and when you're not, kind of like a compass. But even then, the reality is you will never be perfect. I know things will never be perfect. You have to throw that idea out for good if you're going to find inner peace with yourself, because otherwise you will live your life in perpetual dissatisfaction, where instead of living it mostly dissatisfied, but occasionally satisfied, when you can find those little moments in your day where you take a cup of coffee, or in my case, take a guitar and, that's really out of tune. Take a chord and enjoy the ephemeral nature of music. That's kind of what I'm getting at. There's no reason to obsess about perfection if you think that it will actually happen exactly as you think it one day. You can orient yourself towards something in your head, but you are a part of an eternal experience. It's important not to reject that. I think this is why all religions in the world, in some way, shape, or form, say that life is suffering, because it is suffering. It's not fair. It's not supposed to make you happy. It's not supposed to be there. It's not supposed to give you the satisfaction you're looking for in life. No, quite the opposite. Instead, life, it's here. It's here to stay. Take it or leave it, but if you embrace it, you embrace every moment that you have and just live. I find that it numbs the sting of the cynicism that follows being a disappointed idealist. So to sum up, if you made it this far into the video, I don't think life is supposed to be one linear line. It's one thing, and sometimes you are closer to that truth Sometimes you're farther away from that truth, and you might approach it in different ways throughout the period of your life, but it's important to remember you will never be that truth. You can only live in harmony with that thing. This isn't necessarily a recipe for happiness, but rather joy and peace with oneself. The ideal exists in your mind. I would tell my younger self to stop trying to catch it like the snitch in a Quidditch game, and instead enjoy it like a fire. Get close and appreciate its warmth. It's impossible to get too close because the fire pushes you away, and that's how I conceptualize it.
You peek out at the snow in front of old Rochambeau, the blue-eyed Norwegian man serving you a cup of joe.